Guaranteed to varnish and rust faster and easier than anything you've ever used, or your money back. Call toll-free now to get not 1 but 6 giant Miracle Erasers, now for only $14.95. Order Miracle Eraser now.
Relive Philadelphia's championship tradition on Comcast Sportsnet Classics, where unforgettable teams and players rise in triumph and shine in defeat. Comcast Sportsnet Classics, Philadelphia sports the way you remember them.
From the Marriott Center on the campus of Brigham Young University, we welcome you to tonight's game between the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Cougars of Brigham Young University. Hello everyone, I'm Frank Gardenia and welcome to the beautiful Marriott Center here in Provo, Utah. And tonight the Penn State Nittany Lions bring an undefeated 3-0 record into this evening's contest. But when you come on the road, it is much, much different. And when you go on the road, you need senior leadership. And working with me tonight, former Nittany Lion head coach Bruce Parkhill. And Bruce, Penn State has excellent senior leadership in their backcourt.
They really do, Frank. That's where it all starts. And Dan Earl and Pete Lisicki form one of the best backcourts in the country. Folks who watch Penn State basketball this year will really enjoy watching these guys play. These guys have been around. They know how to win. They're great leaders. Pete Lisicki can score from anywhere on the floor, and he has great range on his jump shot, as been evidenced many, many times by his numerous threes. Danny Earl's a consummate point guard. He can run the show and set things up, and he can score. These two guys are really the heart and soul of Penn State basketball. Speaking of exciting players, McKelly Wesley is a 6'9" freshman for BYU who can score from inside and can score from outside. He is a terrific looking prospect and is really going to present some matchup problems for BYU opponents this year.
Wesley, an excellent young prospect, and Jerry Dunn is worried a great deal about he and the other Cougars here tonight. We'll be back with more in just a few moments.
Four hours of football down the drain.
It's nothing to watch now.
Wait a minute. What's all this lying around stuff?
What are we supposed to do?
What happened to the Comcast Sportsnet staff I used to know?
Game's over, man.
Game's over? Was it over when the Cowboys fumbled in a miracle at the Meadowlands?
Cowboys?
Let him go, he's on a roll.
We have the greatest opportunity of our lives. We can provide Eagle fans with the most intense post-game coverage ever. And all you guys want to do is just sit around and lie around. You say, no, Neil, we might get in trouble. Well, not me. The minute all these games are done, I'm going to provide interviews, live, post-game analysis and commentary, live.
Neil's right. This calls for an incredibly sharp, intelligent effort on somebody's part, and we're just the channel to do it.
Are you guys with me? Let's do it!
Post-game live on Comcast Sportsnet, where the only thing better than watching Eagles football is talking Eagles football. If it's inside information on the Eagles you want, he's your coach. Catch Coach Ray Rowe with his no-holds-barred comments during his weekly press conference on Crossroads, Tuesday night at 7:30.
Nothing scarier than a bad copy. ABS Canon. Perfect copies.
is brought to you by the Gatorade Rock and Roll Shootout on December 27th, where the best in college basketball rock the Gund Arena in Cleveland. Welcome back to the Marriott Center here in Provo, Utah. The Nittany Lions 3-0, Brigham Young 1-3 coming into tonight's game. BYU has lost 3 in a row since their opening game win. Here's a look at the starting lineups of tonight for the Nittany Lions. Jarrett Stevens averaging almost 15 a game, shooting almost 71% from the floor. And Jerry Dunn, the third-year head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, a record of 34-24. He is 19-2 in non-conference games. And a look at the Brigham Young starters. Other than Justin Whitehour, they have been overhauled from a year ago. This team was 1-25 last year. A lot of junior college transfers and youngsters making up this lineup. We'll be back with the opening tip in just a moment.
Play better or you don't pay. That's the Golf Magazine guarantee. Call now for your free issue of Golf Magazine. If you decide to subscribe, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $17.97. Plus, get your free Golf Magazine umbrella. Call now.
Mannheim Steamroller, America's #1 Christmas artist, is on stage December 9th, live at Core State Center. Mannheim Steamroller, the most popular Christmas artists of the decade. The Holiday Magic of Grammy Award winner Chip Davis and Mannheim Steamroller. Tickets are available now at all Ticketmaster outlets, the Core State Center box office, or charged by phone. Put some magic into your holiday season with Mannheim Steamroller Christmas, presented by Contemporary.
Hi, I'm Michael Barkan. Coming up on the next Daily News Live, the Flyers are back on Core State Center ice, and Les Bowen will be back in studio to talk Flyers, NHL realignment, and Olympic selections. Also, the Eagles get back to work in preparation for Sunday's divisional tilt with the Giants, and the Sixers are in Miami to take on the Heat. Sam Donnellan, John Smallwood, Phil Jasner on the phone, and so much more on the next DNL.
Welcome back to the campus of Brigham Young University. I'm Frank Gardenia with Bruce Parkhill. And Bruce, several important factors for tonight's game. Let's look at some of the keys to the game. First for Jerry Dunn and his staff.
Well, Frank, they have to set good screens for Pete Lisicki. BYU has not shown that they defend perimeter screens real well. They've got to push the ball in transition because BYU hasn't proven that they can play good transition defense. Obviously, they don't want to give BYU second shots. The reason is BYU has not shot the ball real well this year, so stickbacks are key to them. And their post defense will be important because BYU really pounded the ball in their last outing against Utah State.
As we mentioned, an important game for the Nittany Lions, and now on the Cougars side.
Well, obviously they've got to contain one of the best backcourts in the country in Danny and Pete. Also, they really have to improve their transition defense because they give up too many easy baskets in that area. The mismatch exploit, they really can create mismatches with Wesley, and they have to exploit that situation. And they really have to hit the offensive boards because, as I mentioned a minute ago, they don't shoot the ball real well. At least they haven't yet.
Brigham Young with a first-year head coach in Steve Cleveland. He was an outstanding player in the mid-'70s at Cal Irvine, graduating in 1976, and prior to coming to Brigham Young was at Fresno City College for 7 years, where he won almost 160 games. And Bruce, they really have done an overhaul from a year ago.
Well, geez, you know, they only have one starter back from last year's team, but you know what? I think that's good. When you win one game, it's kind of nice to have a serious overhaul. And I think Coach Cleveland's doing a good job. The team's playing harder this year, I think, than last year. And I think they really have some purpose, and they're going to get better each game.
Jerry Dunn, the head coach of the Nittany Lions, 19-2 in non-conference games in his third year at Penn State. He's worried about this one tonight. It is not easy to come 2 time zones away and play on the road.
Well, anytime you go on the road, it's a challenge, and especially against a team that you blew out the year before.
The officials are Vern Harris, Lonnie Dixon, and Ron Zetcher, and Penn State with Dan Earl controlling the tap. Earl guarded by Hamilton. Greg Stevenson starting for the second straight game. Here's Booth inside and taken away.
I'll tell you, that time BYU did a great job in every area defensively. They covered the perimeter screens for Pete Lasicki, and they dug out well on Calvin Booth when he got the ball inside.
It's Brian Hamilton out to Bauer. Danny Bauer, a junior college transfer. This is the freshman Wesley.
This is going to be a real interesting matchup to see how Penn State guards Wesley. Right now, there's a mismatch because Greg Stevenson's only 6'5". Wesley's 6'9".
Widehour, the senior, with the miss. And here come the Nittany Lions. Earl left free.
That was a real easy shot. BYU didn't hedge out on the ball screen.
Booth with the block on Album.
See, I think Calvin Booth can be a really big factor tonight defensively, even when he's not guarding the ball. He can come over and help out when BYU tries to post up different guys.
Bauer with the three. Prior to that, he was 6 for 28.
Well, that's what they need to do tonight if they're going to have a chance to win this game. Certainly look at the game, and Penn State really has an advantage in almost every area except BYU's playing at home.
Stevenson is open.
So he's going to have to hit that shot. If BYU's going to help out on other guys with Greg's man, he's going to get some easy opportunities. He's got to cash in.
This is Widehour, and Earl almost with the steal.
I would be surprised if Penn State goes to a lot of zone tonight. Just mix things up, keep BYU off balance since they are a very inexperienced team.
Widehour with the miss. Here come the Nittany Lions still looking for that first basket. They try to go to Pete Lasicki.
See if BYU continues to use whoever's guarding Greg Stevenson to help out on other players.
Lasicki from long range. He's got it. Pete's off to a little bit of a slow start from behind the arc this year, but you know that that will improve. He's 6 for 18 coming into the game. Bauer again for three.
Well, that time Pete Lasicki got hung up on a screen. It was a good screen and a good cut by Bauer to rub Pete off of that screen.
Bauer, a junior college transfer from Rick's Junior College in Idaho. 6'3", Brigham Young leading. Earl did not force it. Over to Stevenson.
Didn't even force shots.
Jarrett Stevens.
That's key. That's key. Penn State needs another scoring option besides Earl and Lasicki. And that also takes heat off of Calvin Booth.
Stevens only played 23 minutes against North Carolina State over the weekend because of foul problem. And he has not missed many shots this year.
Sure, he's scorching the stat books. Jeez.
6'5", Brigham Young lead. Freshman Wesley to Hamilton. Way off the mark. And it will be Brigham Young's possession.
Well, those are key situations. BYU misses. Penn State has to come up with the rebound. Here they get a good look, but Penn State cannot give them second opportunities. They haven't shot the ball real well. Penn State needs to cash in on that and get possession immediately on a miss.
Widehour, who contested Booth for that rebound, is a tenacious offensive rebounder.
He sure is.
This is Jarkko Album from Finland. Almost missed everything. Widehour again, and Booth blocked it.
Big fella snuck up on him.
Widehour again coming up with a rebound. Fortunately, Booth able to make the block.
Well, that's where Calvin's really more effective than he is when he's playing one-on-one in the post. Sneaking up from the offside or from down up in the high post.
Stevens and Stevenson fighting inside, and Stevens coming away with it finally.
I love that about Jarrett Stevens. He has a nose for the ball. The guy makes things happen.
Nice flurry here.
There's good effort on the offensive boards. Now watch Jarrett Stevens. He's Johnny on the spot, uses his hands. Now he's going to the foul line.
Just took it away from Widehour.
Guy's a player. He just makes things happen.
There are certain guys, Bruce, who just, no matter what, can score. And he's one of those guys who can do that.
You really don't teach that. He's just got a nose for the ball.
And he ties the game at 6. As we mentioned, he did not get a chance really to get into the flow against the Wolfpack over the weekend. That was a great win for Penn State in the Jordan Center.
No question about that.
The Lions by 1. Widehour to Album. Wesley with his first look of the night.
Now he forced that one up.
will be Penn State's ball. We have a timeout here early in the first half. The Nittany Lions lead it by 1.
This is Comcast country, where more people use our wireless network than any other. People just like you. It seems sort of natural. Because we're from around here, we understand you better. What you want and what you need. What you're looking for in wireless phone service. And how to make it work on your budget. It's easy to get answers from Comcast. You'll find us within minutes of where you work or live. After all, we help people communicate every day. Comcast country. Nobody knows it better.
Ankle-breaking crossover dribble. Then drain the 3. Nothing but net. Sky-high one-hand tomahawk jam. Nothing but net. The dawn of the Larry Brown era.
All business, all fun.
Nothing but net. Exclusive home game action, plus highlights and in-depth coverage on Sports Night. Nothing but Comcast Sportsnet. 76ers basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. Get caught up.
Hi, I'm Ron Burke. Wednesday on Sports Rise, the Flyers get back to the ice to battle the Bruins, who are anything but road warriors. The Sixers are in South Beach just trying to beat the Heat. The Eagles prepare for a battle of giant proportions on Sunday. If you miss anything from the NBA or the NHL, catch it all right here on Sports Rise, your source for early morning sports, Wednesday at 6 a.m.
Welcome back to the Marriott Center on BYU's campus. We talked earlier about the importance of Penn State's post defense. Here's an example of what Brigham Young is going to try to do. Posting up Wesley, he gets away with a little shove there, and then he really didn't maintain his position. But that's something that I think BYU will do all night. Wesley at 6'9", Bruce, really gives Penn State and Greg Stevenson some difficult matchup problems. Big time matchup problems, and I'm interested. I'm really going to be interested to see how often BYU tries to exploit that and isolate Wesley down low. Brigham Young looks to shoot the 3. They've already taken 5 here in the first 5 minutes of this one. Nittany Lions with a 1-point lead. So I think Penn State can get the ball inside pretty much any time they want, because BYU plays behind in the post, and they've showed that in the films that I've seen. It should be very easy to go inside against the Cougars. Head coach Steve Cleveland watching Calvin Booth turn the ball over. BYU has lost 3 in a row. They won their opener at San Diego State. They've lost a couple of home games here to Washington State and Oregon. And then they lost at Utah State on November 29th by 3. And then we have a foul inside on Stevenson. Now right there, you've got Wesley posting up. And here's what I think is really a good scheme. Penn State uses Calvin Booth to come over and help from the weak side, where he's very, very effective. And Wesley really can't see him until it's too late. And Calvin throws it away. But Wesley picked up a foul. Speaking of foul shooting, Brigham Young has been horrendous from the foul line. As a team, they're only shooting 58%. That has really been a problem for them as a team. Wesley is now just 13 of 24 on the year. He hits 2 here, however. Well, Brigham Young can really only hope to stay in the game with people and then win at the end. And you're not going to do that if you don't shoot the ball well from the charity stripe. Brigham Young with a 1-point lead, and we have a hold on Bauer. Danny Bauer trying to check Pete Lisicki, picks up his first. This is a good matchup too, Frank. When Danny Bauer was in high school, he was a Pete Lisicki fan. He watched Pete play in the NIT and the NCAA and became a fan of his, and he said it was really an honor to match up against him tonight. This is Earl down to Booth. Calvin quickly with a shot. Stevens with a rebound, and then lost his balance. Brigham Young cannot afford to give up second shots. Just as we talked about Penn State giving up second shots, that'll hurt if they give up second shots. Jared Stevens did a great job of knifing in. Too bad he traveled, but he did a really good job of getting possession of the ball again. Brian Hamilton at the point over to Danny Bauer. Bauer against Lisicki. Bumped by Stevenson. Now Lisicki is working against Wesley inside. This is Album. Yarko Album. Well, I'll tell you, if BYU can hit the mid-range jump shot and have whoever Calvin Booth is guarding hit that shot and draw Calvin out, that's really going to help their post-up game. Album is 6'10", but he prefers to hang out and shoot from the 12 to 15-foot range. He's more of a face-up player, that's right. Penn State maintains possession here.
Brigham Young, aggressive defense. Penn State down by 3.
The thing I like about Brigham Young this year is they're playing harder. Last year, I didn't think they played hard. This year, they're playing hard. They're competing. You know, they've got a ways to go as a team yet, skill-wise, but you got to give them credit for the effort.
Bauer stole it. Hamilton on the run. Album fighting for the rebound, and a foul called on Album.
I'll tell you though, Coach Cleveland's got to be happy with that, because that's a hustle foul. He's going for the ball. That's a good foul. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, Brigham Young was down by 11 late in the second half to Utah State, and came back and cut the lead to 1. So they obviously are playing hard.
Oh yeah. Coach Cleveland's doing a good job. See, they're not doubling down on Calvin now. They're letting him go, and I think if he gets good position, he can do what he just did all night.
That's the first bucket for Booth. Penn State back within 1. Calvin had 11 points against North Carolina State on Saturday. Whitehour on the drive, and Booth with his 3rd block of the game.
There, Calvin again came from the weak side.
Lisicky with a quick trigger, got it.
Well, there's one of those transition opportunities that we talked about in the lead-in, Frank, where BYU doesn't do a great job of getting back in transition, and gave Penn State a wide-open shot.
Lisicky with 5, Nittany Lions by 2. Wesley to Album.
Nice pass.
And Wesley is fouled by Stevenson.
One of the things that Wesley has not shown too much of is the ability to pass the ball out once he gets it inside. That time he made a great decision and passed it back out. He gets trapped and kicks it right over here to Album and gets a nice shot opportunity. It didn't go down, but that's a good play.
So Wesley, who, as we mentioned earlier, has not been doing a good job at the free throw line this year, about 50%, has already nailed 2 here tonight. And misses that one.
Now, he has a nice stroke. It's just not a bad stroke. I think he'll be fine. He just got to get some experience.
Titus Ivory will come in now for Penn State, along with freshman Jazzy Klein-Hurd. Number 23, Ivory 33. Stevenson leaving with 2 personals. And Brett Jepson is in for Brigham Young, number 55, as Wesley ties the game.
I think Clyde Hurd could have an important role tonight. Since Carl Jackson's out with a shoulder injury, Penn State's going to need some help in the front line.
Penn State by 1, 12-11, and now it's 3 as Lisicky hits the jumper. 14-11 Nittany Lions, and Lisicky has half of the Penn State points. Wesley against a much smaller Titus Ivory now. Open, Whitehour.
Whitehour can hit that shot. That's a good shot.
On the run to Ivory. Ivory will shoot the open one. Hurd with a rebound.
I don't think that was a great shot by Ivory. I think if Penn State swung the ball around a couple times, couldn't get it inside, and then he had that shot, it would be a good shot. He just came in the game. He needs to work it around a little bit.
Jepson with a miss inside. Ball is knocked away to Lisicky.
Well, they need to make those shots. That was a real easy layup, and BYU has to convert that shot if they're going to win the game tonight.
And the travel gives it back to the Cougars. Well, a timeout now with they're going to stay. No timeout. Brigham Young will keep the ball down by 3. Greg Gray's checking in now for the Nittany Lions. Freshman guard along with Scott Wachowski. Wachowski, a 7-foot freshman from Littleton, Colorado. So 4 freshmen on the floor right now for Penn State. Titus Ivory, a redshirt freshman, and 3 true freshmen.
That's surprising. The turnover stats, 4 for Penn State, none for BYU. You would think it would have been the other way around.
Here's Graves quickly on the other end.
Nice decision.
Wachowski is blocked by Wesley.
Great decision by Graves that time. He just came in the game. He could have taken that shot. Instead, he used some patience, kicked it inside. Real nice looking play by the young freshman.
And now they will take the timeout. 11:39 to play in the first half. Penn State leading it by 3.
Hi, Chuck. How's business?
Okay.
Hey, what's on your screen?
QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
If you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions and it tailors itself to your business. Create invoices like these. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, and inventory, and over 60 customizable reports that put you in control.
I'm going to try it.
Nothing to lose.
1-800-216-5511.
Let's go! Drop the puck, you bum! Drop the puck! Let's go, Phantom! Let's go, baby! Let the big dog eat! Let the big dog eat? Let's go, Phantom! Here we go! Come on, baby! If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands! Clap your hands!
Catch Philadelphia's fiercest hockey talent before they learn to fly on Comcast Sportsnet, home of the most intense Phantoms coverage anywhere. Phantoms hockey on Comcast Sportsnet. Minor league action with a major league feel.
Let the big dog eat. Great line. What does that mean anyway? Look, you were screaming just as loud as I was. Clap your hands. We were out there in here. It was your idea. Let's see, you're going. I knew what you did.
Phantoms hockey on Comcast Sportsnet. Minor league action with a major league feel.
All right, Comcast. Woo! Come on, baby. Let the big dog eat.
Things beginning to heat up here at the Marriott Center in Provo, Utah. Penn State leading it by 3.
Frank, we talked about BYU's inadequate transition defense. Penn State has gotten a number of easy shots. This one bottoms out, and they've missed a couple easy shots, too.
Penn State with the ball, and as we mentioned before the break, 4 freshmen on the floor right now for the Nittany Lions. Brigham Young only 3 of 15 from the floor here in the first half.
I'll tell you, they've got to feel good. They're right here in the hunt, and they're not shooting the ball that well, and they're really not getting too much inside. See if they go inside now with the young Penn State lineup.
Cougars backing the zone down inside a little bit with Lisicki on the bench.
It's a good move. They can prove themselves. Danny Earle's a proven shooter, and he's going to knock one down. Oop.
Hurd battling for the rebound, and Hamilton took it away. Ryan Hamilton, a very athletic point guard. Good effort on the defensive board. And Jepson with it up. Penetration by Hamilton. Jepson with a slam. This young Penn State group trying to solve this zone here and be patient and get a good shot.
Well, they need to try if they can to work inside out. Try to get some penetration maybe by a pass into the post, and then that postman kick it out to Danny Earle or Graves, one of the good shooters, and let them knock down a shot. They don't have an easy shot inside.
This is Graves out at the top of the key.
Oh boy, they had the post is wide open against their zone. Look at Klein Hurd. He's been wide open when he ducks in there.
Earle through traffic, almost lost it.
Now Witkoski's wide open down there.
Danny a little short with that one, and Jepson with a rebound.
Penn State needs to work inside out and suck that defense in a little bit. Well, they've got Wesley isolated on the block against Ivory out. He was too impatient. He backed off before he caught it.
Ivory with a nice defensive play. And here come the Nittany Lions on the run. And Graves lost it out of bounds. Pete Lisicki will return now for Penn State.
Okay, here you see Wesley isolated. See how he backs up? He backs up and doesn't give himself a chance to get possession of the ball and then make his move. He got good position, but he didn't finish the play.
Lisicki returning for Penn State. Joe Crispin is in, the freshman from Pittman, New Jersey for the first time. Chris Handy is in also for Brigham Young. This is Crispin guarding Hamilton. Peterson also in now for the Cougars.
Well, I'll tell you, BYU has a height advantage now, and they really need to try to exploit that if they can.
Hamilton against Crispin. This is Jared Peterson, wide hour, trying to work on Ivory, and he lost it out of bounds. Lost his balance and the ball.
Good solid defense that time by the Nittany Lions. Not a real productive possession by the Cougars. They really didn't penetrate the defense, either by the pass or the dribble that time.
And Jarrett Stevens will return now for the Nittany Lions, replacing Klein Hurd. Crispin now working against Hamilton. Cougars back to the man-to-man. Lisicki looking for the jumper. Jepson clears to Hamilton.
If they have Crispin on wide hour now, I don't know why they're not posting him up. He's about 6'7".
Brigham Young will start over now with Hamilton operating out front.
On BYU, I'm getting wide hour down in the block.
And Handy double dribble. So Handy not very handy that time with the ball, and the Nittany Lions get it back, and Calvin Booth returns.
That's a situation where Whitehour's a senior. He should have alerted his teammates that he had a mismatch and gotten down on the block. They used to call that mouse in the house. Got a mouse in the house.
Last year, these two teams played in State College on December 27th. Penn State won easily, 75-53. Calvin Booth and Pete Lisicki had 18 points. This is the fourth meeting in the series overall between these two schools. Bruce, you had some success with your teams here. Your William and Mary team won a tournament here 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was that long ago. Yeah, that was a great tournament, too. Had some great players.
Hamilton with a steal on Crispin and the drive the other way. And Lisicki will foul Bauer.
Boy, BYU has missed 2 or 3 easy layups so far this game. Coach Cleveland's got to be cringing. Nice defense, holds his ground. Hamilton gets Pete on his back, just can't finish the play. Nice job by Bauer to follow it up, though. Yeah, he's thinking, oh man, that's 2 easy ones. Got to have those.
Cougars will inbound. Very rocky start here for the Nittany Lions offensively. And Brigham Young hasn't been much better.
Well, they finally get it inside.
And Wesley with a miss.
Not at the right time. They had Calvin coming from the weak side.
Stevens on the run.
Oh, there's another example of BYU's inept transition defense. Good job by Penn State to push it ahead.
Greg Graves with the assist. Jarrett Stevens with 6. Nittany Lions by 3. And 3 seconds. A lane violation on the Cougars. So Brigham Young really struggling offensively here in the first half. Jerry Dunn, his team is up by 3.
Let's go! Drop the puck, you bum! Drop the puck! Let's go, Fano! Let's go, baby! Let the big dog eat! Let the big dog eat? Let's go, Fano! Here we go! Come on, baby, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands! Clap your hands!
Catch Philadelphia's fiercest hockey talent before they learn to fly on Comcast Sportsnet, home of the most intense Phantoms coverage anywhere. Phantoms hockey on Comcast Sportsnet. Minor league action with a major league feel.
Let the big dog eat. Great line. What does that mean anyway? Look, you were screaming just as loud as I was. Clap your hands. We were out there in here. It was your idea. Let's see, you're going. I knew what you did.
Phantoms hockey on Comcast Sportsnet. Minor league action with a major league feel.
All right, Comcast. Woo! Come on, baby. Let the big dog eat.
Since coming to Philadelphia, Irving Fryer has come up with more great plays than Neil Simon. Now, he's taking his act to a different stage when he joins Angelo Cataldi and John Spagnola on Angelo and Irving. Hear insight, answers, and commentary about the birds from one of the wearers of the wing himself. Angelo and Irving on Comcast Sportsnet. Only a taxidermist has more inside stuff on the Eagles.
Well, both teams trying to find themselves offensively as we welcome you back to the Marriott Center with Penn State leading it by 3, 16-13. Pretty busy night of college basketball this evening. Looking at some of the other scores, Florida State with a big win. Skip Prosper's done a nice job at Xavier. And Utah leading Providence. Penn State with the ball and a 3-point lead. Earl, Graves, Lisicki, Booth, and Stevens for the Nittany Lions. And the pass to Stevens was deflected and stolen. BYU trying to play more of an up-tempo style than they did a year ago.
You see Bowen pass.
And Wesley misses the shot.
Between Graves' legs into the post. It's an interesting wrinkle.
Brigham Young has missed some point-blank chances here tonight.
They sure have. It's going to come back to haunt him, too.
This building here opened in 1971, 22,000 seats. And it still has one of the best floors in the country. A lot of spring out there tonight. The ball stolen by Whiteout.
You know, I think they've got to get the ball into whoever Calvin Booth is guarding one-on-one just to keep him honest. See if he can make the move.
And Wesley is bumped by Booth. Wesley, a very aggressive, eager, physical young player.
He's an emotional player. He has good position. Calvin closes down on him. Wesley does a little hook. I think he's reacting to Calvin's push in the back. But I think that's a good move by BYU to try to isolate and get it inside at Calvin, as opposed to when Calvin's on the weak side where he can come over and be more of a factor. Put a little heat on the big guy for BYU.
Calvin had a very good game against these Cougars a year ago. Inbound to Peterson, almost mishandled, and Brigham Young controls it. 4 team fouls on the Nittany Lions now. They lead it by 3. Bauer against Ivory. And a foul will be on Titus Ivory.
It's a nice individual move by Bauer that time. BYU spreads their offense out, tries to isolate in the post, and then that gives Bauer room to go one-on-one. He ducks under Titus Ivory and gets a good shot opportunity. See if he can knock down his foul shots.
And Bauer, one of the few Cougars who has been active at the free throw line this year. He has 6 points in this game and make it 7. He played 37 minutes against Utah State over the weekend and had 13 points.
BYU is really at a disadvantage tonight. They have Brian Dignan on the bench with an injury, and he plays 25 minutes a game. He's a real hard-nosed backcourt player, a real good defender, and they sure could use him against Earl and Lisicky tonight.
Lance Archibald, youngster from Potomac, Maryland, into the game now for the Cougars, and Penn State trying to work it inside. They get it to Booth, and he is hammered.
What a great catch by Calvin that time. That pass really wasn't there. He reached through 2 defenders, tipped himself the ball. Watch this. He reaches right through 2 defenders, tips himself the ball, gets possession, draws a foul. Great catch.
Bauer picks up his second, and Calvin will be shooting now. He has 2 points thus far in the game. Calvin 8 for 11 this year on free throws.
One thing I like, the last couple of possessions against his own, Penn State has tried to go inside. Unfortunately, one time they turned it over. This time they got a foul shot opportunity out of it. But I like that idea. They're trying to go inside to loosen up the defense a little bit. And BYU plays behind an awful lot in the post. As I said earlier, Penn State should be able to go inside.
Penn State with a 2-point lead. The Nittany Lions have had balanced scoring early this year with 5 players averaging in double figures, but tonight only 3 guys have scored. Stevens, Booth, and Lisicky.
Well, I'm sure Danny Earl will step it up. And Danny scores when he needs to. He's the kind of guy, he likes to see other guys get involved in the game. And when he has to, they'll put it down.
Bauer to Album inside, knocked away, and Earl and Ivory come away with it.
Album did the same thing Wesley did a couple minutes ago and backed up before he had possession of the ball.
And in transition again, Lisicky with a 3.
Unless BYU really improves their transition defense, that's going to be an Achilles heel for them all season.
Pete's second 3 of the game. He has 10 points.
Penn State in the matchup zone.
Archibald with a 3.
He came up big. He has hardly gotten any time thus far this year. Comes in tonight against Penn State, knocks down a 3.
This is a guy who started 24 games a year ago. But Earl answers with his first bucket of the night.
They can't leave him open.
24-18, Nittany Lions by 6.
If you're BYU, you can't let Earl and Lisicky beat you. You've got to try to make other guys beat you.
Now Booth is out on Archibald. Penetration by Hamilton. Album could not handle it. Stevens inside on Wesley.
Nice pass.
Great look to Ivory, and Ivory is hammered by Album.
Good set there. Great decision by Jared Stevens. Drew 2 defenders, kicked it off. Nice pass. Titus uses a great pump fake, draws a foul.
Yeah, with that much traffic, you have to be strong enough to make that pass through traffic, and Stevens
Jared
certainly is.
That strong.
Jerry Dunn making some changes. Jazzy Klein-Hurd is back into the game along with Scott Wachowski. Nittany Lions with a 6-point lead. Important possession here. And Jazzy lost it. On the run to Archibald.
Back out. Nice hustle. Titus Ivey did a great job that time, breaking up an easy 2-point layup. Looks like he's counting up 2, but he looked the wrong way. Archibald looked over his left shoulder. Titus was coming from his right side. Great hustle by Titus Ivey that time.
Archibald will leave, and Whitehour will replace him. So a little bigger lineup now for Brigham Young.
Yeah, let's see if Brigham Young tries to go inside against Penn State's young freshman here. Penn State has 3 freshmen on the front line.
Bauer looking inside. He drives, and Hurd with the rebound.
BYU isn't using a lot of patience right now. They're not trying to probe the defense, make the defense move a little bit, get out of position, and then exploit that.
Earl on the drive, and I think he was fouled by Hamilton. You see the time remaining. Steve Cleveland has seen his team struggle here in the first half to score. So Penn State will have the ball, and we have a timeout. The Nittany Lions on the road, leading it by 6.
What makes an ordinary guy an extraordinary sportsman? The right gear, top-notch equipment, and a rock-solid understanding of what you're doing out there. That's why you need Outdoor Life, to guide you along every step of the way. For under $1 an issue, we'll prepare you to become the extraordinary sportsman you know you can be. As we reveal answers to the whats, whys, wheres, and how-tos of angling, so you can become the true fisherman you want to be. If hunting is your game, let Outdoor Life awaken your instincts for tracking whitetails, muleys, and elk. You'll even learn what it takes to nail that elusive tom. With Outdoor Life, you'll know what's new in gear and equipment, what's happening in your area, plus everything from the care of your rifle to choosing the right 4x4. Call now and you'll also get this rugged Outdoor Life gear bag, free with your paid subscription. Don't wait. Call now to take advantage of this great offer from Outdoor Life. Become an extraordinary sportsman. Call for Outdoor Life now.
Hi, I'm Michael Barkan. Coming up on the next Daily News Live, the Flyers are back on Core State Center ice, and Les Bowen will be back in studio to talk Flyers, NHL realignment, and Olympic selections. Also, the Eagles get back to work in preparation for Sunday's divisional tilt with the Giants, and the Sixers are in Miami to take on the Heat. Sam Donnellan, John Smallwood, Phil Jasner on the phone, and so much more on the next DNL.
Welcome back to the Marriott Center, and Bruce, this has been a very difficult place for visiting teams to win. Over the years since 1971, BYU has won numerous WAC championships, and they've won over 76% of their games played in this building. So Penn State trying to win in a very tough place to play tonight.
Well, it has been traditionally a great program. This facility was the best facility in the country when they first built it. 22,000 capacity. It's a great floor, as you said. They've struggled, obviously, lately, but I think Coach Cleveland's going to get this program going.
And as I mentioned, your team came in here at William & Mary 20 years ago and won the tournament against a very stellar field.
It really was a good field. Cal Fullerton went to the Final 8 that year. Michael Ray Richardson played for Montana, who won the Big Sky that year, and Danny Ainge was a freshman here at BYU. Great field.
Penn State with a 6-point lead in the ball, and Ivory missing the shot. This ball comes into Hurd, and Jazzy is called for the offensive foul.
See, he really did a good job hustling that time, but then he made a poor decision. He should have kicked it back out and let Penn State reset. Good second effort here. He's staying with it. Should have been out of bounds right there.
Rousey Klein-Hurd picks up the foul. Brigham Young, you saw the WAC championship banner earlier. They have won 12 WAC titles here in the last 25 years.
Great tradition.
Peterson, left-handed shooter, and the rebound off to Stevens. Brigham Young is really struggling here in the first half. They're shooting less than 25% from the floor.
Well, they are struggling, and they've struggled all year shooting the ball, and that's why I keep saying they ought to try to go inside more, be a little more patient, swing the basketball, get some movement, and try to get the ball inside, because that's where they had success against Utah State.
Lisicki off the dribble, and a nice soft touch.
Sweet kiss off the glass there, Pistol Pete.
That's a part of his game that gets overlooked. He can take you off the dribble.
Yeah, Pete's gotten a lot better at that.
Whitehour will miss. And Ivory, who's had an excellent first half defensively, tried to save it.
See there again, BYU makes one pass, takes a three-point shot. They miss. It's just not really well advised when you're struggling to take a quick, long shot like that.
Titus Ivory has really done a nice job defensively here in the first half. He's outmanned, undersized in most of his matchups, but he is really scrapping and battling.
Well, he has to. As you mentioned, the size disadvantage really creates a situation where he has to make up for that with determination and just tough, hard-nosed play. And he's doing that. He's doing a nice job.
Nittany Lions leading at 26-18. You see the mask that Ivory is wearing after suffering the nose injury earlier last week. Pete Lisicki with 12 of Penn State's 26 points here in the first half. Cougars have the ball. Bauer, Hamilton, Peterson, Wesley, and Whitehour on the floor for Brigham Young. This is the freshman Wesley against Grays, and Wachowski comes over to help out and picks up the block. Nice job by Penn State's big freshman. A very young lineup on the floor right now for the Nittany Lions.
Penn State's getting some quality minutes out of their young guys.
Wachowski, shoot the open jumper. Stevens clears the board and is fouled.
That's Jared Stevens getting his hands on the ball.
Boy, he took up a lot of space inside also.
It didn't look like Scott wanted to shoot the ball. He was looking for somebody to pass to. Didn't find anybody right away and decided to go ahead and jay it up.
That's probably a pretty good look for him, isn't it?
You know, he's at the foul line. If he can't make that, he's going to be in trouble. Yeah, I think that was a good look.
Here's Jared Stevens with 6 points thus far in the game. Look at the field goal percentage on the year. And the free throw percentage ain't bad. He's about 80% now in the season.
Yeah, he's having a terrific year.
This is a guy who should get to the free throw line quite a bit. Hits them both. And Penn State's biggest lead now at 10. Danny Bauer trying to throw cross court, and Stevens with the easy steal.
Well, BYU has just shot themselves in the foot all half with unnecessary turnovers and ill-advised shots.
This is Titus Ivory against Peterson. Crispin to Grays. Grays is a good shooter as well.
It's good patience this time. Get the defense moving a little bit. Just don't get stagnant on offense. There's Grays wide open for a nice look.
Too strong. Battle for the rebound and a foul inside on Scott Wachowski.
All right, he was going after the ball. That's a good foul.
Wachowski's parents able to see him play here out in Utah. Archibald returning now for Brigham Young, replacing Bauer. And Jepson will be at the free throw line. Brett Jepson this year has hit only 2 of 7 free throws. Earl and Lisicki are back for the Nittany Lions. We have 1:40 remaining in the half.
I really like Penn State's possession that last set. They really used good patience. They moved the ball around. They got a nice look by Graves. Didn't go down, but I thought they used real good judgment.
This is a big week of basketball for the Big Ten as far as non-conference games are concerned. And at halftime, we'll preview some of those games. Jepson with a miss, and Booth with the rebound. Here's Lisicki. Ivory. Titus really struggling from the floor this year.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Made a nice move. He was on balance. Just didn't go down.
There's Bauer on the drive. And Jepson with a follow. Nice play by the 6'11 sophomore. Brigham Young cuts the lead to 8. Bruce, you get the feeling it's just a matter of time until Ivory breaks out of his shooting slump.
Yeah, he's got a good-looking shot.
And Jarrett Stevens picking up the offensive foul. So not the possession that Jerry Dunn wanted.
Well, no, and Jarrett put the ball down too far out. He was way out at the three-point line, put his head down, and went to the hoop. He can get to the hoop, but when you're that far out, chances are you're going to draw some help.
So Brigham Young trying to close the first half here in the final 50 seconds.
This is a big possession for them, I think. If they can score here, they'll get some momentum going into halftime.
You see the time on the clock, 15 on the shot clock. Hamilton missing the shot, and ball goes off the hands of Booth. It'll be Brigham Young's ball.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that wasn't the kind of shot I don't think they wanted. Going one-on-one with a guy right in your face. They need to run a good set and get an open shot here.
Hamilton is not a great shooter from the perimeter, only about 41% from the floor. He's given them some improved speed and penetration ability out at the point, but he's not a great shooter. We have 19 seconds.
See if they run something for Widehour. Widehour's a good shooter in the game, and Calvin Booth is guarding him.
This is Archibald on Lisicki. Almost walked, and Ivory with a block on Widehour. Danny Earl has to shoot the buzzer. Got it!
Oh, yes, sir.
It doesn't count. Yes, sir, it does. Sir. Danny Earl with a hand in his face at the buzzer. Take another look.
This is great help defense by Titus Ivory this time. Widehour gets a real open look here. He's going to knock one down. Titus comes over, recognizes. Danny Earl just pulls up and hits a routine three. Bottom.
Wow, what a shot by Danny Earl. 31-20. The Nittany Lions by 11. Look at Danny. Had it all the way. Penn State with a double-digit lead. Earl has 6.
Hi, I'm Ron Burke. Wednesday on Sports Rise, the Flyers get back to the ice to battle the Bruins, who are anything but road warriors. The Sixers are in South Beach just trying to beat the Heat. The Eagles prepare for a battle of giant proportions on Sunday. If you miss anything from the NBA or the NHL, catch it all right here on Sports Rise, your source for early morning sports, Wednesday at 6 a.m.
Before Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet, games were shrouded in mystery. Once regulation time expired, the hows and whys of the playbooks were kept in the dark, out of reach of the everyday viewer. Now, thanks to Sports Night, the dark ages of Philadelphia sports television are over. Neil Hartman, Leslie Goodell, Michael Barkan, Derek Gunn, Pat Boyle, and Dee Lynam solve the whodunits and who-said-its, involving everyone from the local colleges and minor leagues to the Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, and other national sports action. Live analysis, interviews, commentaries, and highlights 7 days a week. Means that if you didn't see it on Sports Night, it didn't happen. Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. It's what you want to watch.
Welcome back to the Marriott Center. Penn State, thanks to a three-pointer at the buzzer by Danny Earl, leading the Brigham Young Cougars 31-20 at the half. I'm Frank Gardenia, along with former Penn State head coach Bruce Parkhill. And as we mentioned, this is a very big week for a lot of the Big Ten schools as far as non-conference play is concerned. This is a big matchup for unbeaten Penn State here tonight at Brigham Young. And Bruce, it's been kind of an interesting start to the Big Ten teams thus far. And when you look at the preseason thoughts on the Big Ten, there were a couple of teams that everyone had up there, but there appears to be tremendous balance from top to bottom.
Well, Frank, I feel that Purdue is a team to beat in the Big Ten, and I feel going into the early part of the season that Indiana has a chance to be a really outstanding team, and Iowa, if they can get good point guard play, they really have some personnel to put around that point position to be very good as well. But you look at the middle of the pack, and I think the competition to get into that top 4 or 5 positions is really going to be great, and I think Penn State's going to be right in the mix.
You know, you look at Purdue, Gene Katie's team has quietly been up there every year, and this guy does an outstanding job, doesn't he?
Oh, he does a great job. I'm not so how quiet they've been to their opponents.
Well, throughout the league, they've made a lot of noise.
Yeah,
right.
they sure have, and they have everybody back this year. Austin is a great leader, a great player. He's had an injury problem, but geez, I'll tell you, I think Purdue has a chance to have a phenomenal year.
And the Nittany Lions will open Big Ten play on January 3rd. Their first Big Ten home game will be on January 10th against the defending champ, Minnesota. Let's look at some of the things that are happening across the league this week. As far as the non-conference games are concerned, a big one for Bobby Knight. It's always big when Indiana and Notre Dame play.
Well, it's a great in-state rivalry. They're always usually close games. Pat Garrity is one of the best players in the Big East. Indiana will have their hands full.
And this is last year's game, and Indiana, as you see, barely surviving 76-75. Another traditional rival for the Hoosiers coming up later this week will be the Kentucky Wildcats, and Kentucky gave the Hoosiers quite a whipping last year, and that was with Rick Pitino on the sidelines. Pitino is gone. Tubby Smith, however, is there, and Kentucky still is outstanding.
Well, they are outstanding, and you've got to think that Indiana is going to have revenge in their mind.
And there's Gene Katie, his team playing at Louisville. Bruce, that's one of the more interesting matchups in the entire nation.
I really like this game. Both teams are extremely athletic. Both teams play great defense, and both teams are ranked. It should be a terrific ball game.
Purdue is a team that has done a lot of damage already. They played very well at the Great Alaska Shootout, losing to North Carolina in the finals. There's a look at the schedule. Temple at Michigan State, another interesting matchup. Temple also at Wisconsin, another interesting matchup. And then UNLV at Michigan. And I look today at the USA Today Top 25, and there are some great clubs in there. A couple stick out to me, Bruce. What a job at Xavier with Skip Prosper's team, 9th. Princeton also is 20th. And, of course, Purdue and Gene Katie are 5th, right behind Arizona.
And you look at a couple of Wisconsin and Michigan State face Temple, who's ranked 18th. You guys will learn how to play against the matchup zone real quickly this week.
So the top 25 with some outstanding clubs. The Big Ten teams will be in action against many of those teams throughout the year. Here, the Nittany Lions lead it by 11.
America, here we go. Jock Jams, Volume 3. Jock Jams, Volume 3. I love it, baby. I love it. Jock Jams, Volume 3. I can't believe it. I mean, it's the best Jock Jams ever. Jock Jams, Volume 3 from ESPN and Tommy Boy Music. It's awesome, baby.
4 hours of football down the drain.
Nothing to watch now.
Wait a minute. What's all this lying around stuff?
What are we supposed to do?
What happened to the Comcast Sportsnet staff I used to know?
Game's over, man.
Game's over? Was it over when the Cowboys fumbled in a miracle at the Meadowlands?
Cowboys?
Let him go, he's on a roll.
We have the greatest opportunity of our lives. We can provide Eagle fans with the most intense post-game coverage ever. And all you guys want to do is just sit around and lie around. You say, no, Neil, we might get in trouble. Well, not me. The minute all these games are done, I'm going to provide interviews, live, post-game analysis and commentary, live.
Neil's right. This calls for an incredibly sharp, intelligent effort on somebody's part, and we're just the channel to do it.
Are you guys with me? Let's do it!
Post-game live on Comcast Sportsnet, where the only thing better than watching Eagles football is talking Eagles football. If it's inside information on the Eagles you want, he's your coach. Catch Coach Ray Rhodes with his no-holds-barred comments during his weekly press conference on Crossroads, Tuesday night at 7:30. The Daily News Live on Comcast Sportsnet brings the words and wisdom of Philadelphia's biggest sports sages to life. Find out who said what to whom and what they were thinking while they did it from the guys who heard it first. Michael Barkan hosts a blue ribbon panel of blue-collar writers from the Philadelphia Daily News who share their views, insight, and analysis on the city's biggest plays and players 5 times a week. The Daily News Live with Michael Barkan, the sports lane on the information superhighway.
Jared Ward finds Robert tractor trailer for the emphatic slam. Shatters the backboard. We need to see that again.
At Penn State's Hershey Medical Center, the search for new knowledge never ends. For a group of young explorers, the journey is just beginning. Meet John Daniels. Today, John and his classmates at Lincoln Elementary have a job to do. They'll attempt to unravel the mysteries of DNA.
How many people would now like to see some DNA? All right, wonderful. We're going to put some gloves on. Okay, now take that glass stirring rod and stick it inside and slowly twirl.
Grand experiments like this one are now routine for over 6,000 children in Harrisburg Public Schools.
You guys have DNA. Would you like to touch it? Yeah.
These sophisticated lab settings are the result of a partnership between Penn State's College of Medicine and the Harrisburg School District.
It's revolutionizing the way kids are learning science because children have the opportunity to come into a lab situation. They have an opportunity to engage in experiments with equipment that they would not have in their classrooms.
The aim, to turn kids on to science while youthful curiosity is at its peak.
It's amazing. You get to touch stuff that's different and didn't never touched before.
Something that's so small you can only see it with this has all of this DNA in there. 3 feet of DNA in one cell.
You get to wear these gloves, you get to play with this, you get to see through microscope. You get to learn new things that you never learned before.
Hershey Medical Center and the Harrisburg School District created a comprehensive science program for grades K through 6. Funding from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute and the Whitaker Foundation is making this possible.
We are hoping that these science centers will have a profound effect on our young people. Not only to develop an interest in the sciences, but we want these young people to look at science as a career goal.
I've seen second graders put a coat on like this and look at me and just say, I, of course, am going to be a doctor, with no doubt in his mind. No doubt in his mind. And that's why, it's worth it. That's why I think we're there.
John and his friends have some time to decide what they'll be when they grow up. If Hershey Medical Center gets its way, the next time these students look through a microscope, they'll see themselves as the pioneering doctors and researchers of tomorrow.
Here comes the airplane. It's coming into land and there's an open hangar. Oh, no. Look at the big airplane.
How long have you disliked airline food?
Open, open, open. No, not open.
Perhaps you've known since you were a child.
Oh, yes. What a good baby you are.
That's why United has hired Chef Sheila Lukens of the Silver Palette Cookbook to create our meals. And Coach, of all places.
Hey, you want to see some cool shots?
The coolest game on earth is bringing you the hottest half hour on television. NHL Cool Shots showcases the game's brightest stars on and off the ice.
It's pretty cool, huh?
It's your all-access pass to the NHL as Cool Shots takes you behind the scenes and into the game as you've never seen before.
There we go, Snowy Snow. Come on, baby. Come on, buddy.
Wow.
NHL Cool Shots, presented by Powerade. Check your local listings.
Hi, I'm Ron Burke. Wednesday on Sports Rise, the Flyers get back to the ice to battle the Bruins, who are anything but road warriors. The Sixers are in South Beach just trying to beat the Heat. The Eagles prepare for a battle of giant proportions on Sunday. If you miss anything from the NBA or the NHL, catch it all right here on Sports Rise, your source for early morning sports, Wednesday at 6 a.m.
Road, the Nittany Lions with an 11-point lead.
Guaranteed. Jack Nicklaus's personal technique that helps straighten slices. Take strokes off your game. Guaranteed. Dave Peltz's revolutionary technique that has top pros putting better. Let Golf Magazine show you how to shoot lower, play better, or you don't pay. That's the Golf Magazine guarantee. Call now for your free issue of Golf Magazine. If you decide to subscribe, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $17.97. Plus, get your free Golf Magazine umbrella. Call now.
Each year, work-related injuries cost employers $70 billion in medical expenses and lost productivity. At NovaCare, more than 1,500 companies throughout the country employ our industrial rehabilitation program to restore injured employees to maximum wellness both quickly and safely. NovaCare also offers prevention and early intervention work-related programs. To learn more about NovaCare's industrial rehabilitation program, call 1-800-770-NOVA.
Let's go! Drop the puck, you bum! Drop the puck! Let's go, Fano! Let's go, baby! Let the big dog eat! Let the big dog eat? Let's go, Fano! Here we go! Come on, baby! If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands! Clap your hands!
Catch Philadelphia's fiercest hockey talent before they learn to fly on Comcast Sportsnet, home of the most intense Phantoms coverage anywhere. Phantoms hockey on Comcast Sportsnet. Minor league action with a major league feel.
Let the big dog eat. Great line. What does that mean anyway? Look, you were screaming just as loud as I was. Clap your hands. We were out there and in here. It was your idea. Let's see, you're going. I knew what you were doing.
Phantoms hockey on Comcast Sportsnet. Minor league action with a major league feel.
All right, Cockhead! Woo! Come on, baby. Let the big dog eat!
We're just about set to start the second half. Penn State leading it tonight by 11 at the half. I'm Frank Gardenia along with Bruce Parkhill. And Bruce, this first half we've seen some things that we expected we might see.
Well, we sure did, Frank. We talked about Penn State's pushing the ball against BYU's poor transition defense. And I'll tell you, Penn State got a lot of opportunities. They were kicking it out, pushing it ahead, getting good opportunities. Here's one where Calvin makes a block, kicks it ahead. Danny's surveying the situation, kicks it to Pistol P, knocks it down. Here we've got a rebound, outlet pass, kick ahead for a slam dunk by Jared Stevens. really good opportunities off a transition for Penn State. Brigham Young, on the other hand, was very impatient offensively, and it cost him.
And we start the second half now. The Nittany Lions with the ball. Stevens' son, Earl, Masicki, and Booth on the floor for Penn State. Here's Booth inside with a quick shot. Got it. It's Calvin's second field goal of the game. He has 6 points.
They did a good job of isolating Calvin off a screen-to-screener action. Calvin got a good look at the basket.
Penn State's biggest lead. Yarko Album in for Brigham Young, along with Wesley with a jump hook there.
That's one of the few times all game that BYU has done what they did all night against Utah State, and it was successful. Again, they went at Calvin as opposed to going away from Calvin and letting him come over and block the shot.
It's the freshman McKelly Wesley, his first field goal of the game. And here's Earl.
Great look by Jared Stevens that time.
Danny now with 8 points, 35-22. This is Hamilton with the ball, over to Bauer. And an offensive foul called on the Cougars. I think it made... It's on Album, who just decked Greg Stevenson. Here's a look at some of the numbers in the first half. As you see, Brigham Young struggling from the floor, hitting just 6 of 28. Penn State 10 of 24. 5 block shots for the Nittany Lions. Jerry Dunn won't be happy with his 12 turnovers.
No, but if you look at the keys that we talked about earlier in the game, Penn State has accomplished almost all of theirs, and BYU has accomplished none of theirs.
Masicki is open. Bauer with a rebound. Hamilton trying to push it up, and is fouled by Masicki.
Here we talked about the keys. They're setting, Pete Masicki is getting great shots. They're pushing the ball in transition, as we illustrated a minute ago. They're not giving BYU second shots, and BYU has only gotten maybe 1 or 2 inside baskets thus far in the game.
Stevens knocked the ball away. Booth comes up with it. Look out. Here's Jarrett Stevens. And it's fitting that he got the bucket because he started the turnover. Jarrett now with 10 points. Penn State's biggest lead at 15.
Penn State's playing with a lot of confidence now.
Wesley again with a jump hook. And Earl comes away with it. Stevenson wide open, drains it. A 3 for Greg Stevenson. And that is
Coach
his
Cleveland's
first
shaking his head now because you have Greg Stevenson starting to knock down wide open threes. You're in big trouble.
That's the first basket of the game for Stevenson. Prior to that, only 4 guys had scored for the Nittany Lions, and Penn State has opened the lead now to 40-22. And Bruce, we're seeing a little more bounce and some chance taking by the Nittany Lions defensively. They're gambling a little more.
They are. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They feel good. They feel that they can win this game handily. Now they've just got to maintain their focus, and I think with Danny Earl and Pete Masicki in the backcourt, they will maintain their focus. Those guys won't let the other guys get sloppy. Jerry's got to feel real good right now. These guys are playing hard. They're spreading the ball around. They're really making good decisions offensively. They're looking good.
Brett Jepson returning for Brigham Young, replacing Yarko Album. Hamilton setting up the offense for the Cougars. They need a basket badly. They go to Wesley, the freshman, and he got it, and it's fouled.
Well, that was a terrific move. I really like this young guy, and he really hasn't gotten too many touches tonight. And I think there are probably 2 reasons for that. Look at a nice duck under move, lefty hook. That's a terrific move. Nice entry pass, faces up, sees Calvin, decides to use his left hand, takes it in strong to him. That's a big-time move. I was saying earlier, the reason he hasn't gotten too many touches, number 1, Penn State's doing a good job defensively. But number 2, BYU isn't making Penn State work defensively. They're not making Penn State move around a little bit so that they can get Wesley the ball.
Wesley was held without a field goal in the first half. He already has 5 points here in the second half. He has 8 now for the game. And we have a whistle and a foul inside on the Cougars.
That's a totally unnecessary foul. Calvin Booth is out away from the basket, and BYU gets called for a reach-in foul. Really bad decision.
Brett Jepson, number 55 there, picking up the foul. His first. Greg Stevenson out to Booth to Earl. Lisicki takes advantage of some breathing room. And Pete comes away with it to Booth. And Calvin is fouled, and the basket should count.
See, that time you had Penn State going after the ball, and BYU was standing watching.
Calvin wanted the dunk, didn't really get it with much ferocity, but he does score and is fouled.
BYU was a day late and $1 short.
Calvin now with 8 points will be at the line, trying to increase Penn State's 17-point lead. Calvin 2 of 2 at the free throw line. He's now 10 of 13 this year. Penn State leading at 43-25, and Calvin gets a breather. It's a good chance to get some minutes here for Scott Witkowski.
Absolutely.
Hamilton looking inside for Bauer, who got free. Bauer back to Hamilton. Hamilton trying to drive on Earl. Bauer lost it, and Danny commits a foul.
That's a hustle foul.
That's a tough one. Yep. Well, one of the areas of his game that gets a little overlooked too, Bruce, is his defense. He's tough to dribble drive on.
Danny Earl is a very good defender, as is Pete Lisicki. That time, Danny just was going for the ball. See how many times BYU moves the ball to try to get an angle to where they want to go here. Either stagnant or just kind of standing around and not crisp with their passing, not sharp.
This is a team that struggles moving without the ball. Here's Wideauer. Jepson, however, with a rebound, and he's fouled by Witkowski.
That's one of the few offensive rebounds that BYU has gotten tonight. Penn State's done a really good job with the offense. Scott's a freshman, you know, and he was caught a little bit behind that time.
Bruce Brigham Young struggles moving without the ball, and they also struggle defensively, it appears, with their defense off the ball.
Well, they do. Yeah, they're not particularly athletic, Frank, and that catches up to them at both ends of the floor at times.
Jared Peterson into the game. And inbounds to Hamilton. Hamilton will shoot the open three. That's the first basket of the game for Brian Hamilton.
You know, we talked about BYU not being very athletic. And when you're not athletic, you have to execute very, very well in order to get your shots. You can't go one-on-one.
Offensive foul on Greg Stevenson. And the crowd beginning to get into it now.
Well, Greg tried to turn the corner here, and again, he was too far out. There was too much help there. Help had plenty of time to get in position to draw the charge.
So the Cougars with the ball down by 15. A lot of time remaining in this one. This is Peterson. We go to the freshman Wesley. And Greg Stevenson comes away with it, and Jepson pushes it. That should be 3 on Brett Jepson.
See, BYU did a good job getting the ball inside that time, but Wesley didn't have the kind of shot that they wanted. He should have kicked it back out.
Steve Cleveland trying to get his Cougars ready. They're trailed the Nittany Lions by 15.
They call me Johnny Lot Guy, but I prefer exterior design manager. I turn huge selection into a work of art. This lot is my canvas. Then along comes a customer to test drive a Ford Contour, and boom! It's like messing with the Mona Lisa. With its powerful engine, smooth handling, people drive it, they buy it. These people have no appreciation for art.
Ford Contour, only $199 a month. That's another plus at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
How'd you like to celebrate your birthday with, say, 10 to 15,000 of your closest friends? Well then, come on out to a Sixers game. Hoo-hoo, baby! You'll see your name in lights. Plus, have a special birthday gift delivered right to your seat. You'll be the envy of your friends and neighbors. And see the hottest end-to-end action as the 76ers get down to business against the best the NBA has to offer. For information, call 215-339-7610.
Hi, I'm Michael Barkan. Coming up on the next Daily News Live, the Flyers are back on Core State Center ice, and Les Bowen will be back in studio to talk Flyers. NHL realignment, and Olympic selections. Also, the Eagles get back to work in preparation for Sunday's divisional tilt with the Giants. And the Sixers are in Miami to take on the Heat. Sam Donnellan, John Smallwood, Phil Jasner on the phone, and so much more on the next TNL.
Back at the Marriott Center here at Brigham Young University, the Nittany Lions leading it by 15 over the BYU Cougars. Busy night in college basketball, and this is one of the many games across the country. Here's another involving Utah top 10 team in Providence. Arkansas rolling big over Bethune-Cookman. Iowa leading Drake. It's one of those games that Tom Davis probably hates to see coming, that in-state battle. Yeah. Illinois leading Texas Pan American, and Northwestern about to get a big win. Back to action, and Pete Lisicki quickly hitting the three. Wow.
Now there's one of the keys we talked about again early in the ball game. Penn State set a good screen for Pete. He got a wide open look at the basket.
Very quickly they get what they want out of the timeout, and Pete has 15 points. His third three of the game. Wesley trying to work on Stevenson. This is Peterson, hasn't had a chance to get a look tonight. In traffic, Stevenson knocked it away. Stevens came up with it to Earl. Look out, Booth.
Hello.
Penn State's really doing a good job with their interior defense tonight, Frank.
Here come the Cougars. Hamilton over to Peterson, his first open shot, and he's got it. That's a three for Jared Peterson. Penn State again a 15-point lead. Calvin Booth missing the dunk earlier. Will not be happy with that. On the shot clock. They go inside to Stevens. Nice move on Wesley. Jarrett Stevens now with 12. Another solid effort for Stevens.
I really like the way Penn State's spreading their scoring around.
Penn State could not control the rebound. Joe Crispin, number 3, checking in for Danny Earl.
This could be a great opportunity for Jerry Dunn to get his young players a lot of experience on the road. And later on, it'll just be of great value. It's also a good time to experiment maybe with some lineup combinations.
Here the Cougars. The jump shot is up and no good. Rebound, Booth. Well, when you talk about this Penn State team, Bruce, they have a lot of guys they can go to when they need a critical basket.
No, they really do. I think Penn State, if they stay healthy, have a 20-win season.
Stevens did not convert that time. That's one of the few field goal attempts he has missed all year. And we have a foul, I believe, on Ivory. Titus picks up his first. 13:39 to play. Penn State leading by 17. Greg Graves is in now for Penn State. So Graves, Ivory, Booth, Crispin, and Stevens the lineup for the Nittany Lions.
You know, when you're struggling, everything's just a real effort. Last possession, BYU got a wide open shot, couldn't knock it down. Get a turnover here. It's just, you know, Coach Cleveland's going through that period of time where you just have to kind of bite the bullet, and things are going to be tough for a while.
Hamilton, a junior from Sacramento, California, trying to take advantage of the freshman Crispin and could not do so. They get it inside to Stevens, out to Ivory.
That time Graves should have spotted up closer. Ivory kicked it out to him, and he had a wide open shot.
Graves will shoot this time, and that's a sweet-looking jumper.
That time he was in better position. He snuck up a little bit, got himself right at the three-point line.
Greg Graves, a prolific high school scorer in Michigan, with his first basket of the night. Stevens knocked it away. Here goes Crispin. First bucket of the game for Joe Crispin, and the Nittany Lions have blown it out to a 22-point lead. Bauer to shoot the three. Danny Bauer with his third three of the game. He has 11 points. But the Nittany Lions in command right now. I tell you, these freshman guards have an exciting future. Crispin and Greg Graves are excellent young backcourt.
Yeah, I really like them. They both look like they have a good feel for the game. They both can shoot the basketball. And they're going to provide really quality depth this year for Danny and Pete.
That feel for the game you talk about, that's something a lot of times that young players don't have. And they really have that. Both have good vision. They have good knowledge of how to play. You're absolutely right.
Another guy I think has a nice feel for the game is Titus Ivory.
There's a look at the shooting numbers. Penn State almost 50% on threes. Here's Booth inside. Nice little left-handed hook.
That was a sweet pass by Graves that time. Good penetration. He knew where Calvin was, delivered the ball.
Well, one of the things you like about Greg Graves, for a guy who came in with a scoring reputation, Bruce, he can be a distributor.
Yeah, absolutely. And at his size, he's going to have to be a distributor. He's going to have to be able to penetrate, draw help, and kick it out.
Team swapping baskets now, which is not good enough for the Cougars.
So far, Penn State has used real good judgment on offense. They really haven't taken bad shots.
Crispin got away from Archibald, and he hits his second bucket of the game. His first three, and the Nittany Lions lead it 58-36. Crispin with 5.
Well, Coach Cleveland's in a position now where he's having to play guys that have hardly played all year.
This is Archibald. As we mentioned earlier, he started 24 games a year ago and does not play much now for the Cougars. Ball's knocked loose, picked up by Bauer. Can't get it to go, and here's Booth on the run to Crispin. Crispin will let it go. Stevens tries to follow and is fouled.
Can he get his hands on the ball or what? He's amazing. 6'6", 6'7". He just has that knack.
We mentioned, Bruce, in the first half, only 4 players scored for the Nittany Lions, but here in the second half, already 7 different guys have contributed.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the patience they've used, the judgment they're using on offense. They have guys that are giving up shots to pass the ball and try to get a better shot for a teammate, and that's what you have to do if you're going to be as good a team as you can be.
This guy hasn't done much wrong tonight. Well, he just missed a free throw.
You jinxed him.
He's 4 of 5 now on free throws. He has 12 points. But he has not done much wrong. He's really had a nice solid game.
Jared is one of the reasons that I think Penn State can win 20 games this year, because he gives them a legitimate scoring threat at the 4 position. He's going to take some heat off of Pete, Danny, and Calvin.
So 13 now for Stevens, 5 in the second half, and Penn State leads it by 23.
The sensation of the speed the first time that anybody does this can take your breath.
The King, Richard Petty, on the Richard Petty Driving Experience.
First time out, you better let off right past the start-finish line and get that thing aimed to get in the corner, because most people have never experienced the transition of going from a flat surface into a bank.
It's motorsports competition with you at the wheel. The Richard Petty Driving Experience. For more information, call 1-800-BE-PETTY.
It's enough to take your breath away.
Ankle-breaking crossover dribble. Then drain the three. Nothing but net. Sky-high one-hand tomahawk jam. Nothing but net. The dawn of the Larry Brown era. All business. All fun. Nothing but net. Exclusive home game action, plus highlights and in-depth coverage on Sports Night. Nothing but Comcast Sportsnet. 76ers basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. Get caught up.
Okay, boys, listen up. Time to get down to business. Last year we looked good, but this year we're going to look even better. We're going to hit harder, skate faster, and hold up better. Blood, sweat, and tears, it ain't going to bother us. And this year fans are going to see us like never before on Comcast Sportsnet. Exclusive home game action, interviews, and commentary on Sports Night. We're going to get more exposure than ever. Remember, boys, if you look good, you feel good. And no one's going to look better than us.
Welcome back to Brigham Young, where Penn State enjoys a 59-36 advantage. One of the reasons Penn State enjoys this advantage is ball movement. Good patience, good shot selection. Here they swing the ball all the way around, skip it back, get a wide open shot, bottom. That's what it's all about. BYU, on the other hand, has not attempted to do that, and as a result, they've had to force up some bad shots and not gotten very many good opportunities all game.
And Bruce, you mentioned a chance for Jerry Dunn to look at some different combinations. Now a different group right now as Danny Earl returns with Grays, Ivory, Jossie Kleinherd, and Scott Wachowski. And the Nittany Lions only 1 turnover here in the second half. They had 12 in the first half.
Well, I keep talking about their offense, and that's one of the reasons they haven't had a lot of turnovers. They haven't forced the issue too much.
Great Grays there. Grays showing some speed. Making a nice catch on the outlet pass from Wachowski. Ivory.
I really like Titus Ivory. He's not shooting the ball real well right now, and he's giving up that shot to swing the ball. Graves knocks it down, but I guarantee you sometime at some point in time this year, Titus Ivory's going to start knocking those shots down.
Jepson in traffic is fouled. And he's doing a lot of good things in other areas, isn't he, Bruce, especially defensively?
Very, very good. I like his game. I really do. He's got a very good feel for the game. He's a smart player. He plays hard.
Three-pointer by Grays was his second of the game. He has 6 points. Frank Gardenia and Bruce Parkhill with you from the Marriott Center in Provo. The Nittany Lions having their way right now with the BYU Cougars. Jepson hits the free throw.
I'll tell you, Frank, I'm a little surprised that Penn State is having this easy a time. I thought BYU looked pretty good against Utah State. It was a tough road game for them, a rivalry game, and they took it right down to the wire. They played with a lot of intensity. I think missing Brian Dignan really hurts them in terms of intensity. He's one of those guys that just does those intangible things. But I think on the other hand, Penn State has done a very nice job of controlling the tempo, doing what they want to do on offense, and not letting BYU dictate what they do, and playing great interior defense.
Come on the road and can win. It's always a big accomplishment. There's Ivory with the jumper, his first bucket of the game.
Good to see that. He's given up that shot enough tonight where he deserved to knock that one down.
That will make him feel much better. Titus with his first 3 of the night. 65-38 the score. To get inside the huddle of your favorite Big Ten team, go online at www.big10.org for all the basketball and conference news from around the Big Ten. Calvin Booth returning for Scott Wachowski. You can go online and get the results of this game and many, many more all season long. Here's Jepson with a free throw. 65-39. The Nittany Lions will be back home now for 2 games. They'll play Lehigh Saturday, December 6th at the Jordan Center, and George Mason on Monday, December 8th.
Lehigh is another very, very young team.
Ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Ivory. It'll be Brigham Young's ball. There should be some exciting basketball on the University Park campus this winter.
Oh, no question. I really like the way the team's playing right now.
Tallmadge Ire in the game for the first time now for the Cougars, number 42. This is Jepson trying to feed inside, and it's kicked away. It'll be Brigham Young's ball. We have Bart Jepson and Brett Jepson both into the game now for Brigham Young. So Steve Cleveland going into his bench, very deep into his bench at this point, trying to get some guys some minutes as well. Hamilton on the drive. He's had a tough night tonight, but Jepson with a follow. Brett Jepson with a basket, 65-41 Nittany Lions. We go under the 9-minute mark. Earl trying to feed the Kleinherd, and here comes Brigham Young. Ire on the drive, and Ivory would not let him get inside. Here come the Nittany Lions the other way, and a 20-second timeout taken by Jerry Dunn.
Well, BYU is showing the same tendency that they've showed all game, and that not using any patience, not making the defense work. That time, Ire got the ball way out on the three-point line and tried to drive it to the basket against a smaller player. He had the post open, didn't feed the post. They really need to work on moving the basketball, swinging it, getting the defense to flex a little bit, get them out of position, and then try to exploit what the defense gives them. You just can't do that against a solid team by coming down, making one pass, and trying to drive it or pound it inside.
You look at all the blue jerseys there around Jerry Dunn, and everyone has contributed here tonight.
Absolutely.
Look at some of the second half numbers. Penn State has really stepped it up here in the first half from a shooting standpoint. And as we mentioned, only one turnover in the first half, or in the second half. Foul away from the ball on the Cougars.
I hope this game will be a game that will really allow Titus Ire to get some confidence in his shot.
Penn State 13 of 18 from the floor this half. And here's Pete Lisicki to the free throw line. Pete has already been to the line 19 times this year. 2 years ago, he only had 18 chances all season.
Yeah, that's a good sign that he's been on the line. That means that he's showing the ability to put the ball on the floor more and challenge the defense. And the way he can shoot foul shots for you, you really want him on the line.
Pete with 17 points now, and Penn State leads at 67-41. Brigham Young just not taking care of the ball.
Well, there again, it was one pass, force it in the post instead of moving the ball side to side, getting the defense to move, and then throwing it into the post.
Calvin Booth, they give him some room. Ivory to Stevens. Lisicki from long range. Rebound to Hamilton. And Pete took a pretty good shot after throwing that one up there. Knocked to the deck. Here comes Earl the other way. And a foul on Ivory.
Well, the one thing Jerry Dunn has to be concerned about now is getting somebody hurt. But you're really in a dilemma because you need to get your starters certain minutes so they can stay in game shape, but you don't want to get them hurt. The game's in hand. You don't have to worry about that.
And Lisicki got knocked to the deck a moment ago. Danny Earl, of course, always plays a very physical game out there. Hamilton will go to the free throw line. He has 3 points in the game. This is his first chance at the free throw line, and he misses. This is Crispin now in the game, the freshman from Pittman, New Jersey. Averaged over 30 a game in high school, and he is fouled by Hamilton.
Well, it looks like the officials have seen a few things that have made them inclined to tighten things up a little bit, and I think that's good. A few elbows starting to fly out there. You know, BYU's getting a little frustrated. Nobody wants to get embarrassed on the home court. I think the officials are doing a good job of trying to get things in order here.
Well, Brigham Young was 1-25 last year. It's tough to go through that. As you mentioned, that you don't like to lose on your home floor, and their two of their 3 losses this year have already been at home. Crispin will have a second shot, and he has them both. So Crispin now with 7 points in the game, and the Nittany Lions in command. Jerry Dunn very, very happy at this point. His team leads it by 28.
Keeping you and your family well is our mission every day. That's why we've developed Healthy Lifestyles programs for our members. Discounts or reimbursements on weight reduction programs, bike safety for kids, health club memberships, literally dozens of great programs to help you stay healthy. We know that nothing is more important than your health. So we'll be there if you get sick or injured. But remember, we'd rather help you stay well. Healthy lifestyles from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Flyers fans, QVC offers you the opportunity to pick the Flyer of the Month. Each month you can vote for the player you think will lead the team to victory. One lucky winner each month through March will receive a pair of tickets to an upcoming Flyers game, a Flyers jacket, and a camcorder from QVC Sports. To enter, register at any of the QVC Sports entry boxes throughout the Core State Center, or mail a postcard with your name, address, and pick for Player of the Month to QVC Player of the Month.
We interrupt this program to bring you the following message. No one duplicates color better than we do. ABS Canon.
It's gonna be jammin'. Welcome back to the Marriott Center. The Nittany Lions leading Brigham Young 69-41. And Penn State with an outstanding second half here. Very balanced scoring, outstanding defense. They've done some really good things in the second half. Shot is an air ball by Peterson, and Penn State will come away with it. If you look at the Nittany Lions scoring in this second half, Ivory with 3, Stevens with 5, Booth with 7, Lisicki with 5, Crispin with 7, Graves with 6. That's some balance.
Yeah, it's a good indication that the guys are using good judgment. They're playing together.
Calvin Booth will let a 15-footer go. He got it. Booth now with 13 points. Sometimes people forget Calvin has a nice soft touch.
Yes, he does.
So the Nittany Lions a chance to expand on a 30-point lead. Something that doesn't happen on the road very often.
Well, if I was Jerry, I'd be thinking about getting Pete out here pretty soon. And one of the reasons is I think Crispin and Graves really have shown the ability to use good judgment and control the basketball and play very well.
Archibald with a miss. Peterson with a rebound. Cougars continue to play hard. Turnaround jumper by Jepson there, but his brother. Well, that's Chris Handy, rather, with the tap. His first bucket at 71-43. Stevens. What can you say?
It's a great move. Big fella could put it on the floor. Now, that time, he put it on the floor in a position where he only needed one dribble to take the basket, as opposed to earlier in the game, he put it on the floor from the three-point line.
Big, strong guy, and he is so smooth inside. He has great agility. Look at this.
Jarrett curls off the screen, catches the ball in good position where he can put it on the floor, and even if the weak side help came, they'd be too late. More than likely, would have blocked.
They give Booth a lot of room. Crispin don't give him much room. He misses. Come with Cougars on the run. Yates. Archibald for the bucket. And it's Archibald with 5 points of 73-45. Penn State leading. We are going under the 5-minute mark. Nice feed to Booth. And Lisicki gets it back out to Crispin. Alley-oop for Stevens.
Not a bad pass, huh?
No. Big guy to big guy. Penn State by 30. And Booth with a block. Yates for the 3. And Booth with a rebound. And a jump ball situation. Calvin Booth, ahead by 30, still playing very, very hard. He's a guy that might get a rest also. Here's Earl returning now for the Nittany Lions.
See here, Jared Stevens senses his man's cheating. Cuts to the basket. Calvin recognizes it. Delivers a pretty pass. Throw it to the rim. Big fella. Lushes it.
Earl is back in for Penn State, as is Jazzy Klein-Hurd. On the drive. And a whistle and a foul, I believe, on the Nittany Lions. Really getting a little ugly inside now. Bodies flying everywhere. Utah has beaten Providence. And Arkansas rolling on over Bethune-Cookman. Iowa with a 30-point win. Kansas and Arizona. Pretty fair game there. Not a bad scrap. Illinois with a big win. And Northwestern. New head coach, Kevin O'Neill. New head coach, but no stranger to Penn State. Bruce, we've played against him at Marquette and at Tennessee.
That's right.
Peterson is wide open, and Klein-Hurd will clear the boards. Penn State leading by 30. This is Danny Earl. 12 on the shot clock. Booth will shoot, and it's blocked by Jepson.
Jerry'd want to get Calvin and Danny out of there now.
Yeah, Wachowski's coming in for Calvin. So the Nittany Lions leading it by 30. We'll be back in a moment.
Take strokes off your game.
This is Comcast country, where more people use our wireless network than any other. People just like you. It seems sort of natural. Because we're from around here, we understand you better. What you want and what you need. What you're looking for in wireless phone service. And how to make it work on your budget. Sign up for Comcast Digital PCS now and get free calls to any one number. Up to 500 minutes over 3 months. Comcast country. Nobody knows it better.
Hi, I'm Ron Burke. Wednesday on Sports Rise, the Flyers get back to the ice to battle the Bruins, who are anything but road warriors. The Sixers are in South Beach just trying to beat the Heat. The Eagles prepare for a battle of giant proportions on Sunday. If you miss anything from the NBA or the NHL, catch it all right here on Sports Rise, your source for early morning sports, Wednesday at 6 a.m.
Barkley driving.
Trying to guard him. Barkley doesn't. Here at the Marriott Center. Not bad right there. The Brigham Young flying machine there over the cheerleaders. And the Nittany Lions been flying here tonight. They lead it by 30 with about 3:30 to play. Penn State now up over the 50% mark in shooting, Bruce. Brigham Young down around 27%, only 15 of 55.
Yeah, it's been a really good night for Penn State at both ends of the floor.
Penn State 12 of 13 also at the free throw line. And that's a good sign. This is Tallmadge Ire with the ball for the Cougars. A lot of young players out there for Brigham Young.
He was born in London, England.
Shot missing by Jepson. Jazzy Klein-Hurd got scratched, I think, in the eye, but he came away with a rebound.
Boy, he has some frame for a freshman in college, doesn't he? Well-built athlete.
Yeah, he's really a good-looking young prospect. Joe Crispin directing the attack. Over to Wachowski. stolen, but Stevenson gets it back. We have 2:52 now remaining and 10 on the shot clock. Crispin off the dribble. Stevenson tried to clear. Now they have a fresh 35.
Really good decisions there. Good judgment. Run some clock. Run your offense.
Jazzy Klein-Hurd has yet to score in the game. Greg Stevenson with a jumper.
That possession was really impressive to me. They played the way they would have to play if it was a 2-point game.
Stevenson with 5, and Penn State is really rolling now. They're about to go to 4-0 on the season with 2 home games upcoming. Foul inside, I believe, on Klein-Hurd. Brigham Young will drop to 1-4 on the year. Clock is stopped with 2:09 now to play. Penn State will play Lehigh at noon on Saturday in the Jordan Center. And 3 substitutions now for the Nittany Lions. John Branham, Tim McGovern, and Pete Rogowski into the game. 3 walk-on players getting their first playing time of the year. Handy to the free throw line, and his shot is good. So a chance for these Nittany Lion walk-ons to get a chance to play. Handy hits the second one. And that's always a fun thing for everyone on the team when your walk-on guys get a chance to see some action, because those guys make great contributions.
It is fun.
This is Jazzy Klein-Hurd. It's inside for Rogowski. Couldn't get it to him. McGovern keeps it alive, but is called for the offensive foul. Timmy McGovern played at Danny Earls High School in New Jersey, and he picks up his first personal. Timmy last year had to come on at Illinois on the road in a very tough situation and play a lot of minutes because of some injuries. And I remember after the game, Lon Kruger, the Illinois coach, rushing up to him and telling him how impressed he was with the job he did. He understood what type of pressure he was under going against the tough Illini backcourt.
And he did a good job. He hung tough. He's a tough kid.
Shot by Yates, no good. He missed them both, and we have another foul. This will be on Wachowski. Well, you see some good numbers there for the Nittany Lions. Pete Lisicki shooting well tonight. Second half shooting outstanding for Penn State. And look at the three-point shooting. 11 for 24, not bad.
You know, I read a preseason prospectus, and Coach Cleveland emphasized defense, rebounding, and three-point shooting. And that was interesting to me because they really emphasized pounding the ball inside against Utah State. And I'm wondering if now he's changed his philosophy a little bit and realizes that guys like Wesley and some of the other big guys are really going to be an advantage for them if they can learn how to move the ball and get it inside and then complement that with three-point shots. It seems like they're still a little bit uncomfortable as to which direction to go offensively at this point in time.
Pete Rogowski caught in the backcourt with a ball, and it will be turned over now to Brigham Young. Last year, Penn State with a lot of injuries, only averaging just over 60 points a game. This year they're averaging almost 75 a game. And Bruce, they have 77 tonight. They have a lot more firepower.
Well, they do, and you look at the addition of Danny Earl, and again, I mentioned Jared Stevens. They're two legitimate scoring threats, two Big Ten quality players who can take some heat off of Pete Lisicki. And certainly Calvin's capable of sticking in double figures too. We have 4 legitimate double figure scorers out there.
Yates on the drive is fouled by McGovern with 1:14 to play, and Penn State leading by 30. This is Robbie Yates, sophomore from Salt Lake City. He got them both. McGovern will bring it up now for the Nittany Lions against Cannon. This is John Branham to McGovern.
From the Berg, Harrisburg, PA.
"12 seconds to shoot. Ivory, he'll let it go. And he nails it. It's the second three of the game for Titus Ivory.
Great to see that.
80-49, the Nittany Lions leading. You see the time remaining. Titus with 6 points. There's Cannon driving. Rebound Handy. And Hurd fouls it. Gazi Klein Hurd picks up his third personal foul.
You know, he's going to learn that he probably made a clean block there, but he reached down in and went after the ball instead of keeping his hand up and letting the ball come to him and deflecting it. When you reach down in, the officials usually call it a foul.
Gazi's father, Garfield Hurd, was an outstanding player at Oklahoma, and of course in the NBA, and I believe he's coaching in Philadelphia this year, the 76ers, is that right?
I think he is.
Handy hits the shot. 80-50 our score. So the Nittany Lions, very successful road trip out west. Ball is almost stolen. Ivory comes away with it and calls a timeout.
Well, I like Titus Ivory.
It'll be a 20-second timeout. Yeah, I mean, here you are, you're up 30 with 21 seconds to go, and he's still making the smart play.
Absolutely. Really like his game.
So Penn State, as we mentioned, will go to 4-0 on the year. Jerry Dunn's record in non-conference games will be 20-2 in his third year at the helm at Penn State. And this is coming in a building, as we mentioned, where Brigham Young has won almost 76% of their games. Although obviously now they are in a rebuilding mode.
Well, they need to get a couple more athletes. They've got a great young prospect in Wesley. Just need to build around him, and he's a good guy to build around. I really like him.
Penn State just running it down now. Branham to Ivory. No one electing to take a shot, and the game is over. So the Nittany Lions win it by a score of 80-50. And they do it with a splendid performance here in the second half. They had balanced scoring in the second half. As we mentioned, only 4 guys scored in the first half, but it was a great deal of distribution in the second half. They only had 2 turnovers for much of the second half, and Jerry Dunn has to be pleased with that. Penn State is now 4-0 on the year. Brigham Young drops to 1-4.
Before Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet, games were shrouded in mystery. Once regulation time expired, the hows and whys of the playbooks were kept in the dark, out of reach of the everyday viewer. Now, thanks to Sports Night, the dark ages of Philadelphia sports television are over. Neil Hartman, Leslie Goodell, Michael Barkan, Derek Gunn, Pat Boyle, and Dee Lynham solve the whodunits and who-said-its, involving everyone from the local colleges and minor leagues to the Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, and other national sports action. Live analysis, interviews, commentaries, and highlights 7 days a week means that if you didn't see it on Sports Night, it didn't happen. Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. It's what you want to watch. If it's inside information on the Eagles you want, he's your coach. Catch Coach Ray Rhodes with his no-holds-barred comments during his weekly press conference on Crossroads, Tuesday night at 7:30.
So a long road trip for the Nittany Lions turns out to be a very successful one as they win it by 30. Balanced scoring, Jared Stevens and Pete Lisicki leading the way with 17, and the Nittany Lions win it big.